Chapter 43, Farrah. Each generation has its feminine icon. There's no way to fully understand the phenomenon, but the world, and particularly the world of men, seem to regularly come together like a wolf pack to elevate some woman to a status above all others. The women they choose are the women who have it. What exactly it is remains a mystery. But of all the women I've seen through the years, Marilyn Monroe had it. So did Jean Harlow, Betty Grable, Sophia Loren, Liz Taylor, and Raquel Welch. In the 1970s, Farrah had it. One thing these women have in common is, of course, beauty. In fact, stunning beauty. But that doesn't tell the half of it. They also have that special something, a charisma that eludes precise definition, and yet, despite its elusive character, we all know exactly who they are. We all know because each one of them projects a self-image that somehow manages to ignite the imagination of entire generations. I first met Farrah Fawcett while my son Vincent was doing a show, Apple's Way, with my good friend and longtime neighbor, Ronnie Cox. One day, this beautiful young woman did a guest appearance on the show. In the meantime, Farrah and my wife Pat, who was sitting on the set with Vincent, became very friendly. In time, Pat would choreograph some of the dance skits on Charlie's Angels, and she and Farrah remained the very best of friends until she passed away. I remember early on telling Bill Shepard of Disney that I knew a young actress who might be good to have in one of their movies. They met with Farrah, and I recall his humorous and prescient response when he said to me, "Dick, we're trying to promote a wholesome look over here. This girl's a knockout." That was, of course, true. In fact, it was around this time that Farrah made that transition into something bigger than life with a historic poster, which within months was the biggest seller in the world, eventually smashing all records for poster sales. It was even shot into outer space as part of a time capsule launched in a NASA space probe in 1977. At around the same time of the poster's release, September of 1976, Farrah debuted on Charlie's Angels, and with the new role, the poster, and her own marvelous charisma, Farrah transformed into the biggest sex icon of her generation. It was amazing for us to watch this fun-loving, witty young woman who had none of that self-destructive craving for stardom too common among Hollywood celebrities, transform unexpectedly into this giant, iconic figure. In the meantime, Farrah remained a close friend of our family, especially to Pat. In recent years, she had been a model of dignity and courage as she fought her battle with cancer. Pat was by her side throughout much of her struggle, even visiting her in Germany while she received treatment. One of our most treasured possessions is a beautiful picture of Farrah in her famous red bathing suit in which she signed, "For my second family, I love you, Farrah." I always believed that if anyone could win that fight, it would be Farrah. Survival involves the will to live, to persevere against the odds. Farrah had those qualities, and more, and became a wonderful role model for those afflicted with this terrible disease. Before her death, she made headlines again with her television special, Farrah's Story, about her struggle with cancer. Many have expressed different views on whether she should have done it. I don't have an easy answer for that, but I do know that it took guts, and if that show makes it easier for even one person to face this terrible scourge of cancer, then it was certainly worth it. In the end, Pat and I believe that Farrah's courage and dignity throughout her long ordeal will be her greatest legacy. Upon hearing of her death, Farrah's millions of friends and fans poured out their words celebrating her life and expressing sadness at her leaving. Of them all, Pat and I were especially moved by the beautiful tribute of a former Charlie's Angels co-star, Jacqueline Smith, who simply said, "Farrah had courage, she had strength, and she had faith, and now she has peace as she rests with the real angels."